Ooh, Sanmonan. Um, I was reading and responding to some of the comments on some of the videos, and I remember I stumbled upon a comment by Dingy Moyo. I hope I did not butcher your name, Dingy Moyo. And what Dingy Moyo? I don't know if Dingy Moyo is a lady or a gent, but what they asked, they were asking me, Guti, what's your view on long distance relationships? You know, I responded. I was like, no, I think they're high risk. And for me, life is all about risk management. You know, and I've been sitting on this, and I think she asked me this like 2 weeks ago. He asked me this 2 weeks ago, and I've been sitting on this for a while. I'm like, hey, long distance relationship. It'll be interesting to do a video about long distance relationships, and my take on long distance relationship and why I think it won't work or why I think it will work or you know. And the more I've been thinking about it, I was sitting down, I was just jotting certain notes, and I was like, Azi, let me try not to be negative. Let me actually start thinking, Guti, if I was in a long distance relationship, what would it take for things to actually work out? So I started jotting some things, and if you guys would just allow me just to talk through certain things. So I've got a couple of pointers. And as I was writing this, like the most amazing thing happened about relationships. So, but we'll unpack. So the first point that I wrote down in order to make a long distance relationship work is communication, effective communication. So your not just phone calls, video calls, unpacking your day, the highlights of your day, what went wrong, the communication is the foundation of it. The communication is the foundation of a long distance relationship. A point that I wrote was talking about your expectations, a big one. And I've made this comment so many times. The reason why you are not happy at work, why you're frustrated with your line manager, or if you're a manager, why you're frustrated with your team, is uncommunicated expectations. So that is always a big one. Your line manager expects you to be agile and flexible and innovative, and it's not clear. It's not clear. It's fuzzy. It's, oh my god, you should have been at work at 6. Hey bro, come on, everybody comes here at 9. You haven't communicated that expectation. The reason why we tend to struggle in relationships, in this case long distance relationship, is because of unmet expectations. You are expecting your partner to give you a call twice a day, and it's once a day, or you're expecting them to video call you before they go to bed, and they pass out before that. And the more these unmet expectations happens, the more it sucks. So again, when it comes to setting our expectations, you need to be very clear in the goal of this relationship. Okay, sharp, these are the goals. This is what we're trying to do every day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you also need to set certain boundaries, when it comes to expectations. And it can be very triggering when you speak about boundaries to the opposite sex, as I've heard, purely because us better times call boundaries controlling, you know. So if my expectation is for you not to dress in a specific way, so I'm in Joburg, you're in Cape Town, I'll set a boundary and I'll say, I don't appreciate you dressing like that when you go to those clubs at that time, and the moment you start setting those boundaries, it can be very, ugh. So if you can set them from the get, I think it'll be easier. Another way to make it work is obviously trying your best to visit each other. I get if your girlfriend or boyfriend stays in Cape Town, you Joburg, it's not the same as if they stay 15 minutes drive from you. It's very different from a financial point. You can't always, hey, every weekend we'll see each other. It's not the same, So, but you have to plan visits. In that case, a one that is incredible. Guys, I don't know how to. Trust is the cornerstone of relationships. Trust. The more I trust you, the more I feel that you can be loyal to me, and vice versa. And the moment you break my trust, I tend to feel that you are not loyal to me. It's a deep one. You guys have to be constantly open and honest, even when mistakes have been made. Versus them finding out the hard way or finding out through the grapevine. So again, having that courage, and I'll say courage because it's not easy to come and say, look, this. I'm saying this so that you hear from me and you don't break my trust, or I don't break your trust. But it's a hard one. It's a very 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 hard one to manage. Um, next one, next point to make sure that your long distance relationship works is just to keep the fight going. So if you can, if you're lucky enough financially to buy some gifts and send them through, or flowers or whatever the case may be, at night when you guys are video calling, play some Luther Vandross or something sexy, and do what adults do but via video calls. But you have to keep the fire burning, because you guys aren't there in front of each other all the time, so it becomes tough. um I'm gonna leave this one to the end. And then healthy support system. What does that mean, guys? Our friends are way more toxic than we think. I know ladies who use their friends as a store. I know, hey, Spamandla is hosting a braai. Spamandla's got his 4 friends. He's like, hey, come bring your friends. And I know Guti what's from Spamandla's friends are about. So again, ladies love when shit hits the fan to act dumb, like they didn't know. But you knew there was part of you when you brought your friends to these places with by dog. You didn't maybe like, guys ravage my friends. You might not have been like that, but Guti, when guys are hitting you up for drinks, they're not just like, oh my god, we so bored and we've got all this money to blow on these random girls. They also want a return on investment. So manage the friends that we have. So again, just note, Guti Tina, as guys, we are constantly trying to put our friends, guys, women, whatever the case is, are trying to put their friends, they're trying to put their friends in spaces of opportunity with the opposite sex. And if your friends are those type of people, Guti, now when we're drinking, next thing they're like, hey, Benson, meet Paresa, and they're putting in those spaces, it's going to jeopardize my relationship that I have with Unumfundo, who's in Cape Town. So those things I need to be very cognizant of. So if you are in a long distance relationship, understand your friends. Yes, it must suck, Guti, you are in a group of friends and everybody's paired up, and when you're sitting there in the middle, because when you or you're trying to be angaz, but it sucks. But it goes back to the previous point about trust. So again, manage the friends, manage what they bring into the space. If it's about friends that you guys go play rugby with, go play rugby. After rugby, when they go and go drink and be with girls, then you vibe. If it's colleagues, then work. After work, drinks, maybe have 1 or 2. When you see that they do, vibe. So just manage your friends. And then my last point is to manage jealousy and insecurities. I want to do a whole video about insecurities. I want to do an entire video about insecurities, because one thing that I've learned about us men is we are the most insecure beings ever. Our sisters talk about how they are insecure, about their weight, about their I'm so insecure. Sharp. Men are 50 times more insecure than females. Men are insecure not just about their body, but certain parts. Is my John big enough? Is my John doing the things? The way that I'm making her feel in the bedroom, has other men made her feel like this? Do I have enough money in my bank account? This car, is it fast enough? For the girls team at work, is my title long enough? Is there enough letters and words in my title to make me feel? Is if yummy fresh? These are things that are playing in the background. That's why guys end up being so jealous. Because the moment you're giggling with that guy, they're like, oh my god, the fuck, he ain't that funny. So it's just I want to make a whole video about that. But again, you need to manage your partner's insecurities, especially in a long distance relationship. Trust, open and honest discussions, that's the cornerstone. Effective communication is the cornerstone of ensuring that you manage those insecurities and the jealousy. And I know, if my partner is out there in a mini, skirty, with a revealing watwati, showing some nips, and she's out there partying it up, I know I'm going to be insecure. I know I'm going to be jealous that other gents can see. I know all of this. So we need to manage it. Anyway, excuse me. So that is my 2 cents around how to make a long distance relationship work. But guess what? Every single point that I brought up there is actually how to make your relationship work right now. Even if you guys are living in the same home, even if you guys are 5 minutes away, even if you guys are next door neighbors, all the points that I have just mentioned are cornerstones of effective relationships. And we fucking suck at relationships. Why? Because we can't fucking communicate. Because we are not open and honest. Because we are insecure. We are jealous. We don't manage each other. Because we don't do this. We don't do that. We don't do this. What do we do good? We point fingers. It's his fault that da 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 da. It's her fault that is da 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 da. Instead of you fucking sitting down and saying, baby, let's work on our communication skills. Baby, let's set some clear boundaries. You know, what are our expectations? What are the unmet or uncommunicated expectations? Come on, baby. You know, baby, there's a bit of a trust thing here. How can we be more open and honest? Baby, maybe the fire's burning down a little bit. You know, yes, we've got kids. Yes, we've got work. But the fire's just a little bit. How can we spice things up? You know, baby, those friends of yours, Jahalunje, you say you leave to go watch a rugby game at 6. You come back the following day. I don't know. I'm not saying what you are doing these things. I'm just saying risk management. Risk management. Because it is making me jealous. It is making me feel insecure. And we do this and we manage risk. Guys, bad people are still going to do bad things. Cheaters are still going to cheat. Lies are still going to lie. But what you need to understand is that you just need to manage risk. It's the reason why we wear a safety belt. Of course, if there is a truck coming in at 200 k's an hour to hit me on the side by the driver, I'm done with my seatbelt on or off. We get that. But the reason why you put on a seatbelt is for the small fender benders. Those little 20k bumps, whatever the case may be. You can manage those things. It's the reason why we try and send our kids to the best schools that we can send them to. Not because it's guaranteed that if I send my son to an IAB private school, it's guaranteed that he'll become president. No, it's not. Definitely not. But what it does is that it improves and increases his chances of success. All we are doing is just manage risk. That's all we are doing. Yes, your partner can still step out and go cheat and do whatever. However, if they do all these points as efficiently and as effectively as possible, and you do the same, the chance of that becomes less. The chance of your relationship actually working out long term and you guys being happy goes higher. So, do I believe in long-term relationships? No, I don't think it's a good bet. I think it's too much of a high risk. But at the same time, relationships as it sits now, even if you guys are in the same town, it's tough. Even if you guys are in the same house, it is tough. You know, so you do what you can do just to manage risk as best as possible. But anyway, guys, write in the comments if you agree, disagree, what you would add to my list of things, and then share, subscribe. I'm so blessed to be part of this community, guys. Have yourselves a fantastic day. Sharp.